I'm going to spend just a few minutes showing you all the different areas of Gmail, and then we'll be able to, in class, go over each one of those areas and how you can customize it. So first of all, if we look over in this top left corner where it says Mail, there's a little drop-down box. There are three major components to Gmail: the mail part of it, your contact list, and then adding tasks. And it always defaults to the mail, so you can see your emails. If you were to switch it to contacts and select that, it would take you to a list of all of your contacts. And this is alphabetical. The way my contacts are set up, I have some that have that quotation mark, and so that's why those are first. But as I scroll down, you can see then it is sorted by first name. Now, if I want to sort by last name, I would just go up here to More, and then I could sort by last name, and then it would change that for me so that it would sort differently. If I want to add a new contact, there's a spot over here for new contact where you'd be able to add in someone's name and contact information. You'll see that I have a lot of information over here in this left toolbar, which I'm going to go over in just a little while. If we go back up and look at tasks and switch to that, you'll see there was a pop-up that opened up over here, and this is where you can add little tasks into your Gmail account. This is different than calendar, so this is adding almost like a to-do list into your Gmail account, and so you will get notifications through Gmail of these little to-do things that you set up. And again, down here, the plus sign would just be to add one. You can delete them, and then you can go and switch lists. I don't use the tasks too much, but if you want something to set up like a little miniature to-do list instead of writing it on paper, this would be why you would use that feature. So let's go back up here and go to Mail. A couple other things that I want to show you. Obviously, here is your compose button. So when you want to start a new email, you'll select that. Up here gives you the option, if I was doing a mass delete at the end of the school year and wanted to just get rid of everything, I could click this and it would select everything, all my conversations on this particular page. It does not select the entire inbox. You'll see that it pops up over here that 50 conversations of this page are selected. If I want to do a mass delete of my entire inbox, I could select this link, but otherwise it just does it by page. Over here is your refresh button. Please understand that Gmail refreshes automatically, just like all Google documents and other applications within Google, so you don't have to actually hit refresh. If there's new incoming mail, it should populate automatically. Under More, you can mark things as read if you want to. You can see which ones in my inbox are not read because they are bold with this white here. So this Get program, I have not read that one. The email from Steve, I have not read that one. So any of these that are bold, that indicates to me that that is not a read email yet. The other things over here that you're going to want to look at, this will take you to different pages. So again, it's going to register the first 50 conversations that are most recent. And as I select through, it'll go to the next 50 and the next 50 and through all of the pages of email that you have. Next to this is your input tool. Obviously, that's defaulted to an English keyboard. You're probably just going to leave it at that. And then the next one is your settings toolbar. And when you click on this, you can choose what type of theme or display that you want to use. You can also go into settings. And within settings is where you will do specific settings just for Gmail. Okay? Within here, you can see that you have language, you can change phone numbers. If you want to have more than 50 conversations per page, you can change it at this point so that you have a longer list. Same with contacts. It defaults to the 250 contacts per page before you have to scroll to the next page. You can change that. You can change your default reply behavior. So when someone emails you, when you click the reply button, it's going to reply only that person, even if there were multiple recipients. If you want to change that so that it automatically replies to all, you can select it at this point. You can change your default text style so that if you want to change the font or the size of what your outgoing email looks like, you can change that. Conversation view is something I'm going to talk about briefly in just a minute. I have my conversation view on, which means as replies and new emails are sent, it groups them together as one conversation. And if you don't like that feature, if you want to have them listed all separately, then you would turn the conversation view off. Okay? Other things, you can use stars in order to rotate the order of what messages you have and in what order they show up. I don't typically use this too much, but it is a feature that's available. You can turn your chat notifications on or off. I keep mine on so that if I'm online at the same time someone else is, rather than emailing back and forth, it's more like a chat conversation. And it is kind of handy to use even within the school district. I know I've used it to talk to other teachers really quickly rather than sending emails back and forth. You can turn your keyboard shortcuts on and off, button labels, your picture. You can make it visible to everyone, and that's the picture that's defaulted through the school district. And so I have mine available to everyone. Whenever I email someone, my picture will show up for them. Down here then is the signature line, and this is something that was one of my favorite features in Outlook, was being able to have a signature at the bottom of every single one of my emails so that I didn't actually have to type my name after I sent an email. And you can set this up at this spot, and you can add whatever you would like to in there. And then you can notice that you insert the signature before quoted text in replies. So that way every time you reply to a message or send a new message, your signature line will show up. And again, there's a vacation responder, which is another feature in Outlook that we called out of office reply. In Gmail, it's called the vacation responder. And you can set this up to do the exact same thing. Set your dates when you will be out of the office, and then every incoming email you get, they'll receive an automatic reply that you are on vacation. And you can also customize it to only send to people in your contact list, or in our case, we can send it only to people within our district if we wanted to. Within the settings menu, you can see there's also new tabs where you can work with your labels, your inbox, your accounts, filters, forwarding, chat, labs, offline messages, and themes. Once you have labels set up, labels are similar to folders in Gmail. So instead of calling them folders like you would in Outlook, and when you look at mine, you'll see I have a whole bunch of labels because I had folders set up in Outlook and transferred them over. You can, within this menu, you can go through and show or hide them. And so you can see here in this list, these are all of my labels that I have that I originally had set up in Outlook that were transferred over into Gmail. Now, if you didn't have any folders in Outlook that transferred over, you can set up labels within Gmail so that you can have them. It's a nice way to organize your inbox, and you can see that I have different things here. So for example, I have a label for freshman orientation. Within there, I have 28 conversations, so I have 28 emails that include anything about our freshman orientation, communications that I've had with Tim Momartz, Katie Crane, etc. If we leave settings and go back out to our inbox, I want to show you what I was talking about with a stacked conversation. So I have an email conversation here with a teacher, Mary File, and myself. And so you can see that after all of the people are listed within that communication, that conversation, there's a parenthesis with a number 3. That means there are 3 separate conversations within that group. Some of them are more. Brian, Kirsten, and I, there's 7 in this group. As long as you keep the same subject line, it will group those communications together. Again, you may not like this feature, so you can go into settings and you can remove that so that they are not grouped together by conversation. Because all of these apps are Google, they all are interconnected. And so one of the things that you'll notice is when people email you, when you hover your mouse over the people who email you, it will pop up. And for example, Jan Imhoff, it'll say that she's in 2 of my circles, which is associated with my Google Plus account. Has nothing to do with Gmail per se, but because these are all interconnected, then I have the ability to go back and forth between these. I can go to Stacy Fisher and myself, and it says that we are also in 2 circles. If I go up to Michael, I'm not in any of his circles and he is not in any of mine, but if I want to add him after he's emailed me, I can simply do that from this screen, and here is my Google Plus where I can add Mike Carpenter into my Google Plus account. So they all kind of interconnect and weave together. The last thing that I want to mention is this left navigation toolbar. You can see where you can click on inbox, important, you have your sent mail, you have your drafts. Circles, again, are people from your Google Plus account. That way you can group them together if they are also emailing you through Gmail. And then you'll notice I have all of my labels, which are all of my folders within my Gmail account. And you can see that I can click on any one of them and open up any conversations that are in there. If they are bold, it means it has unread email. Okay. As I scroll down all the way towards the bottom, you'll have your junk email. So again, just like Outlook, you may need to check that once in a while in case mail gets diverted there. You have more, and under more, you have all mail, you have spam, you have trash. You may again want to go through your spam just in case that there's something in there that you were meant to get. Obviously, I have not looked at mine in a while. I have a lot of emails in here, and as I scroll through, I don't really see anything that's too important, so they did obviously a good job of getting the spam out of my inbox so that I didn't have to weed through that. If you would like spam or your trash actually up into the main part, you can literally click on the folder, and you can basically scroll all the way up, and you can drop it up towards the top. Okay, and then that way you have that available up towards the top, and here's my trash now, so I don't have to go all the way to the bottom underneath all my labels to find that. So you can always move your labels around as you need to. The very last thing that I want to mention before I close out of this screenshot for today is up here you'll notice you have a search box. This is not your Omni box within Google, this is your search box within your Gmail account. If you are looking for an email from a particular person and you don't want to have to sort through it, all you have to do is do your search. So if I was looking for an email from Barb Salverson, I could start typing her name. It's going to populate up anybody in my contact list. I can choose her and give it a second, and I can notice here I can add her to my circles for Google Plus, or all of the communication and conversations that I've had with Barb over the last month or so populate in so I can easily find something. You can also search by subject line, you can search by keywords in the email, a name that might have been mentioned within an email, so it doesn't only just find the sender or the recipient, it'll also search through any of the keywords within your email itself.